On Thursday, Carmelo Anthony will blow out the candles for his 30th birthday. Yes, hard to believe. Melo turns the big 3-0. I'll take some of that cake. Looks pretty tasty as he enters his 30s. Some former Syracuse stars looking to begin their professional careers. Ray Crawford here with Jordan Cornette. Also joining us, our Syracuse insider, the voice of the Orange for the past decade, Matt Parkin. We're going to get each of your thoughts on the three big prospects coming out of Syracuse in this draft class, starting with Tyler Ennis. Matt, what do you think the NBA holds for him?
Well, I think he's, of these three, the most ready to go into the NBA right now because he can manage a team's offense and get the ball to the stellar athletes that NBA teams are already going to have. He individually might not be an outstanding shooter. He's probably a better scorer than that, but he'll run a team. And I think he could have done that maybe even this season or certainly once the season was over. So he'd fit right in.
You know, Matt makes great points. I think when he says, you know, ready for the NBA right now, he probably is the most ready out of the Syracuse guys right now. But I guess I have issue with this NBA draft because I guess when you look at a guy like Tyler Ennis, to me he screams serviceable NBA basketball player. He doesn't scream first-round talent. He definitely doesn't scream lottery to me. Yes, I guess you got to take, what do you value? If you value the fact that he can run a team, well, isn't there like a 9-year NBA vet who's not explosive anymore that can run a team? That's the biggest question mark, I guess, Matt. Is this really a guy that you're going to use your first pick in the draft to get when you could probably get that value anywhere else? It just doesn't scream a must-have because of his lack of the jump shot, because of the lack of explosion, and because his body's not there yet. Yes, he can run a team, but can't anybody do that?
Yeah, it remains to be seen. I mean, you're only drafting from this pool, right? But he's 20 years old. He's got a lot ahead of him. You got to see how much can you put on his frame, I think, and how much better of a shooter can he be. That'll have a lot to do with his, fullest potential. But I think there's a lot of teams that could find that he would be a very good fit for them, particularly if they already have great wing players, because he's going to get them the ball in the right spots.
And I guess I'll put you on the spot here, Matt, because I do believe this is one of the weaker drafts. And yes, they've been weak for the last few years, but wouldn't you take a guy like Marcus Smart, who's not even a prototypical point guard, but when you take a guy like that, maybe before Tyler Ennis? So what's your thought?
Potentially, but he's a lot older, and again, but maybe that's not what you're concerned about. I can't speak for general managers. Certainly Marcus Smart is more physically put together than Tyler Ennis at this point. He also has a few years on him. So, I think Ennis is worthy of a late lottery pick. You got to pick somebody in those spots. And I know watching every game he played here the past year, he's a guy that's fun to watch. And I know that coaches are going to love because he doesn't pass it to the wrong team.
All right, up next, Jeremy Grant. JC, what do you think about his pro potential?
I love this guy. And the key word there, the buzzword, is potential. I mean, this guy's 6'8", has incredible wingspan. That alone, I mean, when you talk about a guy like Jeremy Grant, you talk about passing the eye test. I mean, this guy is an incredibly sexy basketball player. I'm talking about his basketball game being sexy because he's what you want in a three. He's a guy that can fill lanes. He plays light. He plays the game above the rim. He'll be throwing oops to that guy, catching him on the break, tip dunks. He's a great rebounder coming from that wing. He can defend. He's a great shot blocker because of that leaping ability. Those are the givens. But you got to really get this guy in the gym and mold him in workouts. You got to make him work on that jump shot and work on his ball handling. But potentially, he's got a ton of it, a high ceiling.
Seems to be varying opinions here on C.J. Fair. Some have him in the first round. Some mock drafts have him in the second round. Matt, what say you about his NBA future?
Guys, I would join you in wishing a happy birthday to Carmelo Anthony, who's become a mentor to a lot of these guys. He's among the reasons that these guys come to Syracuse, including C.J. Fair, who's from Baltimore and came here to be now the second winningest player in Syracuse basketball history. He was very productive here as the leading scorer the last 2 years for a team that won a lot of games. Where he fits in the NBA, I think, has a lot to do with who selects him or signs him as a free agent and what else they have and what they ask of him. He, 2 years ago, was a 47% three-point shooter. How much better do you want from a 6'8" guy? Last year, that dropped off a bit as he was the #1 on the scouting report and everything else. He does have a knack for getting his own shot. He's left-handed. He needs to handle the ball better and learn to go to his right to kind of unlock some growth for him.
Well, an all-ACC performer, an All-American as well, and certainly a winner to boot. Matt, thanks very much. Appreciate it. We know JC is high on Tyler Ennis. He likes them. Is he the best guard available in the draft? Well, we're going to find out as we pit the best 4 guards head-to-head bracket style, only on CampusInsiders.com.